IPMNation.com.
Welcome to Blunt Force with Giazilla Rawrr.
And Wade Rawrr.
Today we will be playing the music stylings of
David Bowie.
for your listening pleasure.
He's a star, man.
He is a star, man.
He's awesome.
He's a star, man.
That's right.
He's also a star, man.
Just all of that. Everything that encapsulates.
You know he's in on the spaceship right now with Hendrix and Joplin.
Just space trucking.
Jerry Garcia's not there.
Well, he could be.
He's like one of those guys that gets the honorary doctorate.
I know.
They'll just let him go. Just because he was cool and he touched so many people's lives.
What an amazing, not only musician, but performer as well.
I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I'm talking about Jerry Garcia. So. I don't get it, but so many people do that I'm going to back off it a little bit.
I think you should.
So who else would be on the spaceship? A Prince.
Prince has got to be there.
I mean, you know, they're all together.
Tom Petty.
Oh my goodness. Well, we had a slight interruption because we had a very ferocious and vicious dog run into our studio door.
I know.
I thought it was Olaf.
I did too.
You guys heard that bang? That was from my 3-pound Yorkie Chihuahua mix.
Littlest dog in the pack.
She wanted in.
Right, wasn't having it.
I literally had to open the door and creep out and make sure it wasn't Olaf because we keep them separated.
Right.
He's too big to hang around little dogs, we feel.
Right.
Because he's not. We talked about him in the past. He's not the best educated little doggy.
Right.
But he is going to school soon. We're just not taking chances because of his size, not because of his breed.
Right.
So anyways, we let her in, and you guys might hear dog barks throughout this. We got 5 of them in here with us right now.
Huh.
People might want to know why we have so many animals, so I'm going to explain it real quick. I had 2 little dogs, and then I adopted a foster dog, and then my boyfriend had a big dog, so we had 4 between us. And then when we moved in with my daughter, she had 2 cats. And then she also had Eric's dog, Meg, was still living here, and my mom's dog, Chef. Right. And since Donna passed away, of course, we inherited Chef. And then they had 2 cats also. And then last week, they found a mama and 6 babies.
Right.
So they kept one of the babies and adopted it. So 5 dogs and 3 cats.
Right.
No, 6 dogs.
6 dogs. We got a Brady bunch of dogs.
We have an animal farm. They're all sweet though. They all have their own little personalities.
Yeah, they do.
And they're spoiled rotten. Mega's looking at Wade right now like, why am I not up there with you?
I don't know. She likes to get beside me now and just put her little head on my legs.
Well, I don't care if
Chill.
she goes on the wedge. I just don't want her in my chair. But then I don't want to like teach them behavior either.
The wedge.
Wade's got a wedgie. Speaking of the wedge, what should we do? We finally have all our equipment in now,
We do.
and we have the room. We have the good computer. All we need to do is decorate this yacht.
We need to go dark.
Like how dark?
Like skulls.
Oh, you mean like dark
Skulls.
and moody?
Skulls and just various things like that. Dark. We have the wood beam running across the ceiling. It's dark. I like that. Rustic.
Yeah, it is rustic, and the ceiling is looks like pine wood, huh?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know woods all that well, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
something.
it's pine, and they're really thin, nice little like, almost like wainscoting kind of like boards with some knots thrown here and there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and so you'd want to do it now. Would you want to do it more cabin? Because earlier you were talking about hanging like skulls on the wall.
I know some skulls.
And I was like, animal skulls?
Yeah,
Like, why would we? Like Meg, let's just put her on a little, chop it off right here, and then put her on a little. Meg's a wiener dog, and she's dapple. She's brown and she's got a white face. Really cute. So just like put her head on one of those oval boards and just like,
yeah.
or Meg?
I mean, not now, but when she passes.
No
you know?
way. You are so weird.
In memoriam.
You would put. You would not. What's that called? Taxidermy?
Oh, we keep that puppy around forever.
You wouldn't taxidermy her head into wall.
Sweet.
What about a giraffe? I see people do that with giraffes and it pisses me off.
I mean,
A deer, if you're gonna eat the deer,
I
then
really,
whatever. I still think it's kind of gross, but animals you don't eat?
jackalope.
That's what you said we eat.
Get us a jackalope skull.
I'm gonna find an artificial jackalope taxidermy head wall mount for this room now.
Well, it needs one. That'd tie the whole room together.
It's just bizarre. No, seriously though. What color paint you thinking?
I like the chocolate browns or something earthy tones.
It's gonna make the room look a lot smaller. Right now it's got like a beige. Sarah, it was red, so Sarah painted it beige.
No, we could hang one of those big. I was thinking about that because it does look kind of small in here. We could hang a mirror and create that illusion of more space.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put some mirrors in here for sure.
You know, some mirrors.
I agree. I want a chandelier too.
I think as long as I get my Johnny Cash poster right here.
I don't know if we could put the Johnny Cash poster there because the top of my chair there's not enough space. We talked about this.
I think it'll fit though. It's one of these. It's short on the tall side and then wide.
Well, the way that we're going to be producing this now, we could just have that as a banner behind you.
We need it.
Okay, so I'll let Ricky know that behind you want the poster of Johnny Cash flipping off the camera.
I think that's what we'll go with.
Because in our new setup, it's not going to look like we're sitting on the couch next to each other anymore.
Weird.
So you can sit anywhere you want now,
I know.
as long as you're within the camera.
Whatever works. We're gonna do it.
I like sitting on the couch, though.
I hope my face doesn't look weird.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this man and his face of droopiness. It's not true.
It seems like one side is droopy. Maybe this new camera will fix it.
I mean, I don't know, Wade, what to tell you, but it's your nose.
Is it?
Yes. Your nose, on camera, it's noticeable that your nose makes your face look not symmetrical now.
Oh, I hate that.
But nobody notices it but you.
It's weird.
It's not weird. Stop looking at yourself.
Oh, no, man.
You think that I like looking at the videos of myself right now? Oh gosh. Look at me. I look like Ursula from fucking
God.
Little Mermaid. But I know, it's just what it is. It's not my fault, and it'll fix,
Right.
like it always has. But this time it's taking a little longer.
Well,
It's annoying me.
it happens.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I try not to think about that kind of stuff because this is how we are at this state in our life right now.
It's weird because you go to like scratch the left side of your face or move your hair out of your eye or something,
Right,
and
and
then
it's
it's
weird.
your right side. It's reversed
Right.
when you see yourself on the screen, so it throws you off anyway.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it's weird to watch yourself, especially when, like, the other night our chat didn't come up.
Yeah, that was odd.
And so I'm so happy we have a new computer that's been able to handle this. 'Cause I
Nice.
think that's what it is. And if it's the internet, we'll just have to get another tier. Or
Yeah.
get our own line or whatever. We'll work it out. I'm pretty proud of where we've come.
Yeah.
I think this is like show 35.
Yeah, we're like 35 shows in now. A third of the way to 100.
Number 3 on IPMNation.com, live 1.
Yeah.
Number 3 show.
Loving that.
And these people are listening.
Digging it.
Yeah, they just listen once.
Yeah, we hope they like it, for sure.
So if you guys missed last week, we did an homage to National Giraffe Day. And had stupid hats and makeup and headgear on.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm looking behind me. I've got to take the giraffe stuff down before our next live.
Them giraffes, they're fun to watch.
Well, I'm going to put the giraffe painting in my room. So what I have for in here is my tree, which is a Stephen McMillan, is huge.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if the tree will fit on that space.
I don't know.
It might fit there, barely. So it's going to take up that whole area.
Yeah.
But if it's black and white and black furniture, even our refrigerator is black.
Right.
Our little mini fridge. And everything's black. So don't you think we need some color? Do you want to go dark brown?
Maybe a blue.
Blue's nice.
Black and blue. That's what they say. Black and blue, right?
I guess. They.
Yeah.
He's always talking about they. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
No, them.
Those.
The people.
The ones. The ones that told you about pyramids.
The movers and shakers, yeah. That's who they are. The people that are making these things happen.
Whatever.
Black and blue.
Whatever. Let's talk about something creepy. Now, what was the name of that Dahmer little ditty on Netflix?
What was the name?
Growing Up with Dahmer, or
My Friend Dahmer or something like that. My Neighbor Dahmer.
My Friendship with Dahmer?
Something.
You guys, this kid that played Dahmer is incredible. He reminded me of a young Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, now that you say that, yeah, I can see that.
No, he's got chops, man.
He was good. He acted his ass off in that. He was creepy, just the right amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sold me, Because we always do this like 10 minutes. We're going to let it go for 10 minutes, and if it sucks after that, just cut it.
Right.
Because once, I get too sucked into the show, I'll ride that thing out.
Oh, no, you get 30 minutes in, and you're just like, well, there's only an hour left.
Yeah, I gotta see what happens.
Right.
And you're always disappointed. So for myself, I implemented the 10-minute in rule, and I never even thought about it once we saw the first scene. I never once said, "Oh yeah, do I not, or do I want to keep watching it?"
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in. What are we gonna do?
I was just hooked from the beginning.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
And it was funny. There were parts that were actually funny.
I thought the writing of it was really good. It showed kind of his human side a little bit too.
It Yeah.
You know?
It completely explained what happened to him.
Right.
I mean, it's easy to sit afar and go crazy human eating, raping, murdering, um, sicko. Yeah, he was all of those things, but he was also a lot of other things.
Right.
And really neglected. And I mean, his dad tried, but his mother, oh my god, you guys, you know what? Watch it if you're into stuff like that.
Yeah, people love the serial killer stuff. This is a pretty good one.
I like the way it wasn't gratuitous at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that in there, but not. It wasn't just every other scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they didn't. It was real and it was raw, not easy to watch in some parts, but it wasn't just like I don't know. They could have. It felt expensive, if that makes sense. It
Yeah.
wasn't cheap. Liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
It had pretty good reviews too. I think it was like 70 something. That's why we were like, we'll try it.
Yeah, high 70s probably.
Right.
You know, horror and documentary movies get the bad rap. They don't ever get the "oh, that was awesome"
I know, and it's
deal.
done. They
You know?
should. They get recognized at like, Sundance or something, but
Right.
well, Lifetime and those Wii and all that, they
Right.
just churn those freaking murder shows out
Right.
like crazy status.
Yeah, they do.
There's so much of it. I've seen like the same cases on several different of those. I think Forensic Files was the first one to really come out with that.
Right, and then the just investigative discovery.
Yeah, they have a whole channel ID now to that stuff.
It's just and it seems like women
Love
watch
it.
a lot of it. They're obsessed with it almost.
Yeah.
I know women that just love that stuff. A couple of different women that are just totally into it. Not that I mean, I think it's cool too,
It's fascinating to watch human behavior.
Right.
And also, it's fascinating to watch other people that you were in the situation that they were in, and it went, like, just the randomness and how nobody ever expects it to happen to them.
Right. What would you do if this happened?
Right. And then the types of the minds behind the people who are doing it.
Right, and the people they control and stuff like that, how do
Right.
they do that? That fascinates the crap out of me.
And the different motivations behind all of it, and how they get other people involved to help them, or how, like, serial killers find each other.
Right.
And you get these women that are out, like, hunting for victims for their men. What's that all about?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Predatory animals.
Yeah, they just, like, even Kohut, my former neurosurgeon, who's doing time for wanting it's so sick. He wanted a child sex cult where the children didn't see any, he thought that it was just part of life, and that children were supposed to have sex or some weird shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he would go and give money to really poor women in exchange of abusing their children. And they were all in this like little cult where he would provide their financial structure. And not only was he able to get one nurse, he was able to get two nurses that all worked in Santa Cruz at the same time.
Wow.
For this to be going on.
Career professionals.
Yes.
Not dumb people, you would think,
No, I would hope not. Registered nurses, the minimum.
Not easily impressionable. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Maybe easily impressionable.
Those women didn't need the money. They were nurses. RNs in California make a lot of damn money. Like, they get paid well. So for them, it was not like they had a crack addiction. But they were offering up their own children, and then they were recruiting poor women for him.
Man, some kind of, switch flipped in their brain somewhere, I guess, one day.
Yeah, what happened to them when they were younger, maybe? Or maybe, like, they became so, like, enamored and in love with him that they just were under his spell. But I love some fools, but, one of them comes to me.
Right.
With any kind of left-sided weird shit, I'm gonna be like, 911, there's a predator on the loose you might want to look at.
I mean, man, I don't know. I guess the closest thing I can come to that would be, a dog. I've never had a child of my own. But if someone came to me and was like, man, that sure is a pretty pup you got
Oh my
there.
gosh.
I mean, I would freak out. I don't know how I would,
Yeah, for sure. Like, even your pet. Like,
and I think most of us would. I think 999 out of 1,000 people would.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like limbic system and other parts of the brain that are just freaking haywire. But wow, what a sicko! So yeah, he's doing. Well, I don't know if he's been convicted yet, but from what they're saying, the evidence is pretty strong. There's audio, and I mean, weird. I've had a few brushes with meeting sick people in my life.
God, man,
Strange.
sick people, man.
I mean, like on 2 or 3 incidences of like knowing people that were on America's Most Wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
I've known several people on. I did know one guy that was on America's Most Wanted, and he thought the government was in the field across from his house, watching him and all this weird shit. And he was right. They were watching him. They busted his ass.
For what?
They were they had this doctor thing going where they would drive from Oklahoma out to California and then back and make this big loop hitting doctors back before it was all connected.
Oh, for what, pills?
Cancer patients getting dilaudid.
Oh, they were really cancer patients, though?
And so, yeah, he would pay cancer patients to do it because people with legitimate need for those pills.
And they would give him the pills, and he would pay them money.
They would sell them to him he would pay for everything, I think, and then he would give them like $10 a piece for them.
Damn! And then he was on America's Most Wanted.
He was on America's Most Wanted
For drugs.
For that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a weird.
Yeah, we thought he was just, you'd see all these cooped out meth people sometimes back then. That was, usually it was some freaker telling you some story like that.
Right, so you knew him and he told you this stuff?
Yeah, he started telling us that shit and we quit going over there. We were like,
yeah.
Man, dude, that's a little much.
How'd you find out what kind of like this?
I mean, we were just getting high once in a while. We didn't want to indulge in some weird lifestyle.
You were recreating, not, which I don't agree with, by the way, but I'm not going to admonish you.
I mean, we weren't addicts or anything. I wasn't. My friend was medically addicted.
Yeah, he was dependent.
Yeah, medically dependent.
Well, you're not a junkie or anything, but yeah, I'm glad you stopped hanging around with people like that.
It just, it was a
You told me some crazy stories. Well, let me tell you about, all the people that I knew on that show were like happenstance. It's not like they were directly related to me or friends of mine or anything, but my friend Georgiana, hello if you're out there in podcast land. She, back in the day when you could do personals through the paper, she was meeting some guys like that. And she wanted me to go with her on this one day. She wasn't sure why, and so we all went for pizza. And the guy was just really strange, and he just was like shark eyes. I'll never forget him.
Wow.
And there was no way, obviously, for her to click with him because he was trying to be charming, but there was just something off. Like, her initial sense to like have someone go with her was correct.
Right.
Thought she shouldn't even seen him anyway. But she's like, oh, I just want to give him a chance. 'Cause you can't really tell through the phone. You can't really tell through,
Right.
his ad, whatever. But yeah, like a couple weeks later, he ended up doing a couple murders in San Jose. And we saw him on there.
Wow.
I know. And we called in and we're like, hey. Said pizza with this guy like 3 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
It's insane, but he wasn't into women like that. He wasn't into thankfully, he wasn't into killing women like us.
Well,
He was into killing like little brunettes.
oh,
He had a type.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess,
Yeah, escaped that one, I guess. For
Yeah.
her anyway.
that's probably part of what gets you caught, having a type, I guess.
Yeah. Didn't work so much for Bundy.
Yeah,
Well, he got caught in the same car that he was known to drive.
I know, that
Not
was
the
weird.
same car, but the same make and model.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Like, you go and you do all these crazy killings and you get away with it and talk to freaking FBI and then you get busted on a traffic deal.
He escaped from county jail twice.
Yeah.
He was pretty, he was an opportunist and a thinker, really.
He was sophisticated for sure.
Yeah.
There was, what show is that? I almost got away with it.
Yeah.
We watched this one episode where this guy escaped from jail like 5 times to go back to his lover, to go be with his lover.
Wow.
Yeah, and one time he realized that the trustees had yellow jumpsuits
Yeah.
and they had more access. And so he took a bunch of highlighters and he mixed them with water in the toilet and bleached and turned his white.
Dyed his suit.
That was one of those ways he slipped through.
Wow.
One time he called the judge and pretended to be a lawyer and got himself released.
Wow.
And I can't remember the other two, but his downfall was they'd always catch her back with his lover. He'd always go running back to the guy. And then the last time they were like trying to escape to Belize or something and got caught on their way there. They almost made it. But you kind of had to root for him because he was just so determined and smart,
Right. God, I don't know why this is making me think of this, but you know what I saw a couple days ago is that Beth Chapman is in a medically induced coma now.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's not long for...
Why?
She has throat cancer, from what I understand.
Yeah, I thought she was doing well. Didn't go right.
I saw something about medically induced coma and pray for her now, kind of a thing.
Well, it's really sad considering he was a smoker.
I think she smoked too for a while, it seems like. But, I watched that show because my mom liked it. Hashtag my mom.
Hashtag Wade's mom likes Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, she did. And we would watch it together some, and so I got a pretty fair look at those people,
Yeah, I've seen the show. Everybody watched it.
I didn't...
Interesting. Leland was kind of cute.
I didn't like the fact that they would always, get on the ground, you motherfucking piece of shit, da, 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 and then they want to pray for you 10 minutes later.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, I just,
But his heart, you know what? His and her heart are really in the right places, even as like twisted and weird as they did things.
I don't agree with it, but I don't judge him for that either. That's his business, not mine.
That's his ministry, I guess. He feels. Well, he's gonna be a total mess.
Yeah, he'll be lost without her.
Yep.
He'll fall apart. I think. I don't know. He's a strong guy.
He's got all those kids too.
He does have all those kids, and they seem pretty tight.
That's the way it seems like she's grown up with a dead head on her shoulders. Because the reason why I know this is I watched that. They have a thing on Netflix. Beth fight for her life or something.
Right.
The fight of their lives or something.
Right.
And this was put out a couple years ago, so I just assumed she was, they got it. They said they got it.
Right. I think it came back.
Wow.
With a vengeance or something. And
yeah, that's shitty. I have a friend who went through throat cancer, and he's like got a scar from his chin all the way down his throat, down to his like almost to his belly button.
Right.
But he lived. He's a survivor.
No, certainly our hearts go out to anyone that's going through that.
Yeah, it's awful. I always like freak out because of my scratchy voice, but my doctors always are doing scopes and reassuring me that it's probably my thyroid.
Yeah.
Well, now that we know that mold in that house, because that's what got bad.
Right.
I lived in that house. But yeah, I mean, you'll always have that in the back of your mind, like throat cancer would suck.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the hardest ones,
I mean, any of it's not good, but damn.
But it affects your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know.
Oh my gosh. Are you comparing yourself to a throat cancer victim right now?
I'd have to see some pictures to be sure, but maybe.
Oh my god, not even Eddie Money has this much insecurity about his face. As you do.
It's just weird. It made me feel like I looked like that guy from Men in Black.
What? I don't watch movies.
That was the alien guy.
Oh my god, I know that face.
His face malfunctioned.
You're insane. I'm looking at you like, look at me.
No,
you're insane.
It was just because it pixelated a certain
on
way
that
or
one
something.
still shot?
Right. And I was like, oh, fuck.
I hate that we have no freaking control over the still shot on the lives. So hopefully with this open broadcasting software that I'm switching over to, it'll let me change the thumbnail to something decent.
Right.
Because that's ridiculous. It got me like wiping my eye. Just all around my hand, my sleeve all up in my eye.
Right.
Because it was watery from the fan being on me. 100-degree heat. It's Sacramento.
Jeez. I guess it's nice out there today. It's only 91.
That's so hot for me.
God.
I like it 68 to 71 or I start getting a headache.
I mean, we're not these creatures. We're not desert dwellers. We're not made for heat.
I'm a forest fairy. For sure.
I mean, a little bit of mountains. Something where it gets kind of cool at night.
Yeah. Ferns.
And decent in the day.
Some damn ferns.
Yeah. 70s.
And this is the deal though. I've done this in my past and it's always worked out well for me. You make a sacrifice. And you stick to it, and then you get what you want and what you need.
Right.
And that's what we have to do here. I mean, we were paying $2,000 a month to live in a mold-infested house in a town that is now horribly littered with needles and violence. And so, this is an opportunity to save money and then go buy that piece of land in the forest where I want to be.
Right.
And also build more wealth within the family. So I saw something, I gave it to Sarah. She uses that as a down payment for this. Then when we flip this, we take each and go buy 2 more houses to upgrade them.
Right.
See? Yeah, one in the forest and one in town. That way her kids have both experiences.
Right.
And I can be where I want to be.
Yeah,
which is away from humans.
Yeah.
And Tahoe is nice.
I mean,
I've been looking at South Lake Tahoe for property. It's really nice.
I always used to wonder why, like, my grandparents lived. I mean, my dad's parents, those grandparents lived at the edge of town. But, like, my other grandparents lived a few miles out of town, 6 or 7 miles out. And I was always like, God, why do they live out here? There's nothing to do. There's nothing to...
Right.
Man, they had a pretty nice deal going. I see now why.
Well, I was all over the place. We were just talking. It's interesting that you brought that up because it never really kind of hit me until today. That my dad graduated high school and then he went into the army and he did all that bullshit. And then he came back and he worked at gas stations and like crap jobs. And then he went to college and he did like 2 or maybe 3 semesters there and was able to land a job as the for the planning department as the lead civil engineer
Wow.
for the city of Gilroy. And I never really until today when I realized he was responsible for making sure that the buildings were going to stay upright.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the dams weren't going to overflow, and all the civil engineering that went into Gilroy, city of Gilroy, and also side projects, doing architectural projects for the Monterey Bay Aquarium and people's private homes.
Right.
How do you get that kind of a job after 3 semesters of college?
I don't know, man.
How smart was he?
I think
to understand all that math and everything.
Right. I'd be so lost.
I took my first 3 semesters of college. I was trying to get through a speech class without shaking.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, he was brilliant. But as I talked about before, he was a hopeless alcoholic, and we bounced around a lot when I was young.
Right.
And then we did move on a vineyard after he got the city of Gilroy job. And it was out in the country, and at the time when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
it's oh, this sucks because everybody's in town. But looking back on it, all my friends stayed out there. We had great parties out there. And, I mean, we lived deep in the woods and other times before that, but this was the longest place we ever stayed at for any length of time.
Yeah.
And we went there when I was at an age where I would go out to we had a well and there were frogs and stuff, and we had a creek behind our house.
Mm.
And there were horses, and it was ATVs, and we lived in the redwoods, and that was kind of my love, I guess, for that, because it feels like home to me.
Right.
But yeah, he would get drunk, and City Hall fired him 3 or 4 times, and then they finally set him up a home office in our barn out on the vineyard, and it was just don't get ashes or booze on the plants.
Huh.
Don't come to work.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for living out in the country,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I prefer it by far. And I don't even want to just be in the country. I want to be in the trees.
Yeah.
That's where I feel most at home.
Yeah.
When especially in the redwoods.
My Aunt Betty built a house just down the road from from her parents, and raised Bubba out there for the most part,
Uh-huh.
And he loves that kind of. I mean, he lives I don't know, 10 miles from the Canadian border or something. He's off remote too,
Sounds
and just
awesome.
loves it. Just loves it. I mean, it's a little bit dangerous, honestly, because there's bear and moose up there.
Well, you have to know what you're doing, and if you don't, you have to get trained and educated. But, because I lived off the grid.
Right.
When you met me, that was pretty much off the grid, especially when I first got there.
Yeah.
We didn't even have, forget internet. There was one time we didn't even have hot water for, a long time, which was rugged.
Right.
Have to go to Sam's, have to go to the gym or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't mind living. I mean, now that I don't feel great, I mean, I feel worse than ever, I wouldn't want to do it now.
Yeah.
I need indoor plumbing now.
For sure.
But when I was younger, I didn't mind it at all, What's a little rain when you're running to the bathroom?
Right. No big deal.
So when I say I'm a forest fairy, I'm not lying. I don't require much to be comfortable. But I do miss the trees, and I miss hearing the animals, and looking out every day and just seeing those miles and miles of redwoods. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I miss it. Had cool nights too. Warm days and cool nights. So up here, I'm not going to get redwoods, but we do have beautiful trees and beautiful forests up near Tahoe and Pollock Pines and these other little like mountain towns up there.
Yeah.
Gold Rush towns.
No, it's beautiful up through here. It's really nice country.
And I love Truckee, but it snows a lot, so I don't know how I'm going to deal with the snow. Because I've always been by the coast.
Right.
So now I got to figure out how to deal with that. But you know what? I think it's a good start, a new start, because there's too much people and pollution, and Santa Cruz is just it's garbage now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I hate to say it. They make it, I mean, it's beautiful, and they make it look really beautiful in movies, but the day-to-day of living there is not, it's really not healthy.
Mm.
They find like 100 needles a day sometimes. Just thrown.
That's so sad.
Like, what is the city doing, the county doing? They're just sitting there, like, letting this happen.
If you use IV drugs, clean up after yourself.
God,
for God's sake,
That's
man.
the thing. What are these people injecting that's taken all sense of morality and, like, freaking human decency out of them?
God, man.
What are these drugs doing to people? Because you used to run with the rough crowd and recreate in ways that I would never have. But you guys weren't just freaking littering up your town, right?
No, we weren't. And I'm not going to say there weren't times that didn't happen. But it wasn't a regular occurrence, for sure. And we always tried to, at least put that shit in a bottle and throw it in the trash, or, make it somewhat safe where someone's not going to get stuck with it, because
I don't understand this, because I've been in the hospital, right, where I've received IV medications. And obviously I've never received enough where it's just like knocked me out, or like I'm in pain a lot, so maybe. I mean, I've been pretty high on Dilaudid in the hospital, like good 8 milligrams,
Right.
during a minute when I had that spinal meningitis. And I was pretty like, oh, I could feel it. But when you're using, and say you're out in the street, like say someone's in the park and they're going to use it, they're going to nod off, fall asleep, pass out. What happens? And then they wake up? Or do they just get up? It just depends on how much they do. They might be able to function right then and there.
Right. Yeah, it just depends.
Maybe they're just maintaining so they don't get sick or something.
Right. A lot of people don't get high anymore. They get well.
So it's not like they're so fucked up out of their brains they can't remember to pick up their stuff, right?
Right, but sometimes you are. Sometimes you're so discombobulated that... But that doesn't last forever.
That's what I'm saying. You get up and wander off, and when you're like that, you gotta remember to take the needle out of your arm. You can't be that fucked up.
I mean, sometimes that happens too. Sometimes it's so strong that they don't get it out of there,
What's the etiquette? Would someone come along and help them, or do they just leave it?
I've seen it go both ways.
Wow.
It used to be...
Wow, thanks for being so raw and honest about this, because this is stuff that, I mean, obviously I like some drugs, and I'm an advocate for drugs, but this is one arena that I've not ever been down.
I've seen it go both ways, honestly, and, used to be if you got into an emergency situation with drugs like that.
Right.
They would either drop you off somewhere, like at the hospital.
Right.
They'd take you to the hospital and dump you out.
Right.
And you'd get the help you needed. I mean...
So you have to be pretty fucking, like, loaded and almost at an overdose to not take the needle out of your arm?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
do. I mean,
That's an extreme case.
yeah, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And
That guy I've talked about this before. There was a guy that was parked in front of our house, and the car wasn't parked, but he was just sitting in the street with the car idling. It wasn't like on the curb. It's like he was just driving down the road and he stopped, like right in front of our house.
right,
And I went out there and I was like knocking on the window because he looked like he was passed out.
yeah,
And I'm like, sir, trying to. And then, so I finally came back in and called 911. And well, the non-emergency, maybe I called 911, I don't know. But they came out and the guy was nodded off.
yeah.
So I was like, and how did he get the car apart? And why would he have a needle in his arm right then? Was he shooting up while he was driving? Do people do that?
I mean, some people do.
What? Just like I'm going to get a little bit right now so I can get somewhere?
Well, or are they just,
Or they're just out of it?
some people will just take one already made up with them. And, if you have a habit
Oh my god.
and you're starting to get sick and you're in traffic, or what, I mean,
Wow. I always have this idea that it's like some seedy house and everyone's in the bathroom gathered around like melting spoons with lighters and
no, a lot of
all
times,
hidden and like quiet and dark.
a lot of times it happens like that. I've seen it.
But it's more and more out in the streets nowadays.
I've seen it where, like, people could have used their whole house, but they still went in that bathroom to do their thing. It's conditioning. I think it's a habit that you form, that you get into. Whatever your pre-getting high ritual is,
People get just addicted to that, huh?
Yeah, they have a little pre-ritual that they do all their little stuff,
Like set things out, accoutrement?
Not necessarily, but just
How they go about it.
right, how they go about doing their little thing. Everyone has their own little way of doing it.
And they all have like little bags, huh, with gear in it.
They either have those little bags,
Makeup bags.
or they will have a lot of people use a sunglasses case. Those kind of hard cases, because they'll hold like syringes or a meth pipe, something something that size.
Have you ever hung out with crackheads? Have you ever seen people smoke crack?
I have. I've been at the crack house a time or two. It wasn't really my deal, but some people I knew.
You tried it and didn't like it, in other words. Or you tried it a few times, but it wasn't your go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I hit it a couple of times, but it wasn't really my deal.
Yeah, yucky.
But I had some friends that thoroughly enjoyed it. A little too much,
That's what happens to people with that shit, right? They just get freaking crazy on it.
I mean, the one time we went to the crack house, there were just, I mean,
Does the crack house have furniture in it?
it had a bed and some chairs
Oh, gross.
for people to sit around in. And the guy that had the crack, you would go into the bathroom and make your purchase individually from him.
Uh-huh. Again, in the bathroom.
And everyone would sit in a circle out there, and just kind of everyone hitting their own pipe. There's no sharing.
Right.
Because that shit's, I guess, expensive, cheap, but
if you
these
do it
people are
20
on a
times
budget
a day.
for sure. You never get enough of it. Is the thing.
Plus, I read that you could like blister your lips and like pass it on to other people, vice versa. Like Hep C and stuff.
I don't know. I wasn't around those people.
I'm like, why are they blistering their lips up so bad?
I mean, the guy I knew that was the crackhead's name was Steve something, and he was a janitor or something at the school when we met him.
Ooh, and he was a crackhead?
Yeah, he was a crackhead, and
sheesh.
So I guess he was homeless and shit, and this guy that we had a place, me and this friend of mine from high school, and he let him move into the spare bedroom for a minute, and because he was smoking that shit. I didn't know it at the time,
Right.
but then I pretty quickly figured out what the hell was going on, and I don't know. We got away from that guy pretty quick.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I think this one chick that joined our, like, we had like a collective of pagans that would get together, do rituals, and just, celebrate
But yeah,
Earth and nature and all that. And I think one of the original members who found me first, I think she might have been like cracky.
yeah.
She was always spazzy. And one time we went on a camping retreat, and I went in the bathroom after her that smelled like burning glue. And her eyes were all like big, and she was just all like super chatty and like weird. Just weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. So I think I might have had some exposure to it then. And then last year when we were driving up here a lot, I stopped at a gas station bathroom, and that smelled the same way. To the point where I couldn't even use the bathroom. It just smelled toxic in there.
Super chemically.
Yeah, and so I came back to the car, and I told Damon and Eric was with us on that trip, and I was like, I can't use that bathroom. And so I was like, something's on fire, and Eric's like, crack. And I was like, how do you know? He's all, Mom, everybody knows what the burning plastic is in a bathroom.
Right.
Crack or meth or something.
It's one of the two, usually.
Yeah, give me earth drugs, like mushrooms. Because they're not even drugs.
You know, I've been thinking about that some, and I think that mushrooms are gonna. I think that
Earth gifts.
I think the world. I think the United States is finally going to go through an awakening a little bit here as mushrooms and plant-based hallucinogens get more accepted.
Yeah.
Oakland and Denver have both done it now.
I know, I'm so proud of Oakland. All medicinal plants, including cacti and fungi. They're just like, just stop putting people in jail for this crap. There's medicinal uses for these things.
Right.
And people have the right to make a mushroom tea if they have a freaking headache. Now, I want to know if they're going to start selling it and where I need to go.
Right. I want to, I don't know, man. I really don't want to do ayahuasca because it's so lengthy.
I won't do it. And you know what I'm hearing from some people that I know who've been doing it? They're doing multiple retreats and like really heavily getting into it.
Right.
And somebody that I really care about has changed quite a bit since she's been going to these like retreats. And I'm a little concerned about it. I think it could get to be too much, and if you can get into a group, there's like 40 people or something, 60 to 80 people at these ceremonies, and this is like starting to become like group think to me.
Right, it's too much, and I'll tell you this, I'll tell you what I don't like. I've watched a couple of these shows, and I understand that these people are shamans, or whatever, however you want to, but here's my problem with it. You can't get me all peaked out on psychedelics and start messing with my brain, man.
I know you said that before, and in all my experiences of watching like ayahuasca ceremonies and reading about it and listening to Rogan, I don't think there's a whole lot of that really going on. We've talked about this before. But you've seen it happen?
I've seen these guys doing it, and it's for positive. They're trying to get a positive outcome. But here's the deal. I don't need you spitting rum and touching me with swords and shit while I'm tripping, man.
Who's doing that?
These Peruvian guys, these shamans.
Oh my gosh, they spit rum?
Yeah, fiery rum and all this crap, and it's all faith.
I have to see this.
It's all faith-based. I think I saw it on that Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
Oh,
He went down there, and this guy had like 100. He had like 100 swords, and each one was supposed to remove a different demon, and Hold on, man.
Yeah, that's bizarre. See, I don't like that
I
part of
don't,
it.
yeah, it would really ruin it for me, I think.
But I mean, I do believe that for some people it's cleansing. Because I know if I do acid or mushrooms or something, I feel reset afterward emotionally. I feel clearer.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people that's going to take 2 or 3 hits and like try to see, Yoda in the.
Talk to God or
Yeah,
something.
I'm a microdoser. And it's for pain. Uh, Not that when I was younger I didn't have some wild rides, but so I could see how this could clear someone out. I just don't like if you're going. Like if it works, why do you have to go so much?
Right.
Like what's it gonna do to you in the long run? And I don't mean like brain wise. I just mean emotionally wise.
Now they say I've been doing some looking at some of this. Funny that we're talking about it, but these people that do multiple experiences with it regularly, they say that it's an ongoing healing process of some kind. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that's what my friend told me too, and I trust her. But last that I saw her, she looked so thin, and I don't know. Does it take? I would be afraid that it would take away too much of your emotion and make you be. She seemed kind of distant to me, and that was upsetting to me in some way.
I don't know.
And that could have just been my own trip, but I just felt a disconnect with her, and I thought, wow, that's sad. That's sad that I feel disconnected from her right now.
I don't know. I feel like the people that I've talked to that have actually gone down and done ayahuasca ceremonies in Peru and places like that. They seem like because they've had that experience, that they're not better than you. I don't want to say that, but like more enlightened than you are, or on a different spiritual place. That's because they've done this now, and I get it.
There was a little bit of that, maybe, but my point was it's not something that I want to do, and it's not something that I feel like I need to do. I feel like I do that work every day, But
Right.
so for me, that's not even a factor in it. And maybe I'm also being kind of selfish because maybe pulling away from some things is what she needs to move forward in her healing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's not like we stopped being friends or we don't care about each other anymore, but it was just different. She was different, for sure. And I wish her well and everybody else well. No matter what way you need to find your peace, whether it's through medicinal herbs or walks in the forest bathing is important to some people,
Right.
cultures. And that just basically means spend time in nature, even like your community park with no cell phone for like an hour a week at least. Forest bathing. I think everybody needs something, or you're gonna end up like Dahmer.
I think that
We got 2 minutes.
I don't know. I have done some drugs to the point where I felt like I was on the edge.
I know that's scary.
And there's a calmness. It's a place. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it's really interesting and it's a cool high.
Well, I've been
Uh,
dead and it's very peaceful, so you were probably there.
it's a cool high, and it's I don't know. I think those people get there on that ayahuasca sometimes, where they break through and they don't even realize they have a body anymore. They're off in another plane.
Yeah,
You
but
know
I
what I
could
mean?
get there on other types of like mushrooms. You could separate your physical. I mean, I don't know. I get it. I get why they're going. I get why they're doing it, and I'm supportive of it. I just don't like anything where you start spending the time with the same groups of people over and over, and then you're taking like crazy drugs. And for me personally, I would not be comfortable being in a room where you have that many people, some people crying, some people dancing, some people throwing up. Like, they would do too much for me.
Yeah, that'd be sensory overload for me. But are you even in that room anymore at that point?
But
Are
and
you
that
even
was
cognizant of that's happening to other people? Because
yes, because she told me that's what happened.
I mean, when these people have a breakthrough on what I'm looking at is people smoking DMT, which is the synthetic of the ayahuasca.
Right.
And
we have 1 minute, Wade. You're getting all crazy. You want to do the second part?
I'll just wrap this up real quick. They do 2 or 3 hits and then they break through and they see the lady or the elves,
right?
Or they see these beings.
Yes.
And that's what you want to do. Evidently, is break through.
Well,
is the goal. But I don't think I was listening to this guy.
Now we're over 1 minute.
I was listening to this guy describe it, and he said he wasn't even cognizant of where he was or his physical body or any of that because he was on this other plane.
Well, yeah, it's a detachment. That's why I was trying to answer your point, to which was she did, like, I think on the 3rd day have an experience where she, like, fell to the ground. Right. And, like, had that breakthrough moment or whatever. But, she said that when, like, she was just sitting back. It wasn't unpleasant for her to sit back and to watch everybody go through these different things. Like, obviously she's very much into this and it's working for her. Right. And I'm happy for her about that. But I'm just saying, me personally, it would be a lot. Because I don't even want to take, this music's a lot for me right now, you know what I mean?
It is a little much. What's going on there?
It's like, I don't even want to take a little bit of mushrooms and be around someone who's acting like hyper anymore. I'm old.
Yeah.
This is a young girl, woman that's doing this too. So yeah, it's just, maybe it's an age thing.
I guess my point was just with all the puking and shitting yourself you do with that, sometimes it's a really neat high, even though it's not pretty to look at.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, well, be careful with hallucinogenics and all substances. Be safe. We're out of here.
See ya.
Sorry for the crazy hodgepodge show, but sometimes that's just the way the
cookie crumbles.
IPMNation.com.
Innovative, provocative, and mobile.
See you guys later.
See ya.
IPMNation.com.